need to give a shout out to Angel Reese. Angel Reese is just a workaholic. She just gets down to business. And I love that attitude of hers.
What? Excuse me? Let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly. WNBA media is so desperate to make Angel Reese a huge star. Their level of desperation is so high. They want you to accept her so badly that they're actively celebrating failure? I'm going to play the full clip for you guys here in just a second, but just think about what Cynthia Cooper just said. She can't celebrate Angel Reese's accomplishments on the court because they don't exist. She can't celebrate the Chicago Bravado because they're arguably the worst team in the league. So WNBA media is trying to elevate Angel Reese and her dozens of aliases by complimenting her attitude? I don't give a shit about her attitude. I don't care about her charitable causes where Bayou Barbie donates a dollhouse to homeless Barbies in need. I don't care about her stats. Contrary to the belief of Mina Kimes, the only stat that matters: wins and losses. Years ago, Bill Parcells famously said, "You are what your record says you are." I know this is going to sound harsh, but the truth is, the Chicago Bravado's record says they are losers. At 9-30, and it seems like they have been stuck on 9 wins for weeks now, but at 9-30, how else could you possibly describe the Chicago Bravado? They are so desperate to make Angel Reese a star, they are now talking about her personal attributes, her attitude, her character. Fans of the Chicago Bravado, which are counted by the dozens, they don't give a shit about that. Me and my wife have this conversation all the time. We'll be watching a game and she'll start asking all these weird questions. Is Kellen Moore a good husband? Is he a good father? What's his relationship like with his children? I don't care. In my relationship with the Saints, none of that matters. His personal life is irrelevant. Derek Carr is a candidate for Father of the Year. Derek Carr is a good Christian man. If I'm looking for a next door neighbor, I want to live next to Derek Carr. If Oreo escapes my backyard, Derek Carr is the type of neighbor that will chase her down for miles. He will stop traffic to ensure my precious Oreo is safe. If my yard guy is sick and can't cut my grass, Derek Carr will cut the yard for free. When dump divers in the WNBA come on Mondays and Thursdays to collect the garbage, Derek Carr will bring my garbage can back up the driveway. As a neighbor, as a friend, father, husband, Derek Carr is as good as it gets. But as a franchise quarterback, Derek Carr is the drizzling shits. WNBA media is trying to make Angel Reese appealing by playing on people's emotions. They're trying to get people to like Angel Reese by talking about her quality character. She's a great woman and teammate. While that might work with women, it is not going to work with men. And if the WNBA is going to succeed long term, they're going to need the attention of the same toxic masculinity that they're allergic to. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor of today's video, my good friends at Chapter. One thing most people don't realize until it's too late, dealing with Medicare can be an overwhelming experience. Countless plans, rules, penalties, calling the government for help. Good luck with that. Fortunately, there is help available, and that's where Chapter steps in. Chapter is an advocate for seniors to help you choose the right plan for your needs. Chapter is completely independent, which means they're only incentivized to find the right plan for you. Uncle KC actually tested out their services. My mom turned 65 back in January. Now, both my parents, they already had insurance plans, but had her call Chapter anyway. Long story short, Chapter told my parents that they already had the best plan available. There was no need for them to change. Chapter actually found them a plan that would save them a couple of $100 every month, but Chapter explained to my parents that their current plan would save them more money in the long term. So since they can afford it monthly, Chapter advised my parents to keep their current plan. Telling my parents to keep their current plan, that was of no financial benefit to Chapter, but that is the kind of honest service they provide. Look at it like this. If you were wrongfully sued, you're not going to court without your lawyer, right? So why would you deal with the hassle, the confusion of Medicare without an advisor in your corner? Even if you already have coverage, Chapter might be able to find you a better plan. You literally have nothing to lose. It's free. It costs you nothing. So call today, 510-279-3616. Have Chapter find the right plan for you. CBS Sports Network airs a show called We Live to Talk, or We Need to Talk, We Like to Talk. Whatever the hell it's called, you can tell by the title, this is not a show that caters to men. Most men are politely asking their wives, baby, can you please stop talking? I'm just kidding, ladies. Kinda. But anyway, the show focuses on women's sports, mainly the pretend basketball in the WNBA dump. With the show focusing on the dump, you would think it would be inclusive. I mean, the WNBA is the league of inclusion, right? Pretend basketball is for everyone. The WNBA is supposedly all about diversity, but it's strange. I have seen several segments of We Love to Talk, and I've yet to see a white woman featured on the show. I wonder why. Over the weekend, the Talkin' Ladies were talking about Angel Reese. Well, Casey, why are they talking about Angel Reese? The Chicago Bravado are a flaming ass fire. They're already eliminated from the playoffs. Why aren't they focusing on dominant teams like the Minnesota Lynx or the Atlanta Dreamers? Well, the only purpose of this show is to draw ratings. It's kind of hard to do that when you're talking about players who struggle to be recognized by their own parents. They're talking about Angel Reese, and I'm expecting to see criticism. I'm expecting the conversation to center around the fact that Angel Reese is not an impact player. She has an impact on losing, but she has no impact on winning. And that's not my opinion. The Chicago Bravado are 22-57 with Angel Reese. They're winning 28% of their games, but instead of pointing this out, WNBA media wants to talk about how great her attitude is. Ooh, she's a really hard worker. Watch for yourself.
Angel Reese is just a workaholic. She just gets down to business. She keeps her circle tight and she stays focused on her game. She got help from Lisa Leslie. She'll get help from whoever she needs to in order to be a better player and a better person. I love what her mom is doing in her life and how they're so close. I love her energy out there on the court and her competitive nature. She reminds me of me when I was starting out and I didn't care. I'm bringing my A game tonight, right? You're going to have to stop me from getting all these rebounds. And I love that attitude of hers and how she's continuing to get better.
Let me ask you something. How often do you hear about LaMelo Ball? I would imagine that some of you guys have never even heard of him. When he was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets in 2020, the Ball family were big stars. LeVar Ball was constantly in the media for pretending he was Michael Jordan. They had that doofus reality show that ran for 6 seasons. First episode, watched by 26 million people. Like Angel Reese, LaMelo Ball was a star going into the NBA. Yet for some reason, you never hear about him. Why? He's not winning, and he's consistently injured. LaMelo Ball averaged 25 points a game last season. Angel Reese hasn't scored 25 points in a game all season, but she's constantly praised by the mainstream media. We're constantly told that Angel Reese is the most dominant player in the league. How in the hell is she dominant while consistently losing? One of the biggest stories this past weekend was Arch Manning struggling in his debut. This kid was destroyed by the media. The moment was too big. He couldn't live up to the hype. Manning family curse. In most cases, the criticism was valid. Arch Manning sucked. But how come we don't see this same criticism in the WNBA? Outside of Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham, WNBA players are rarely criticized by the media. Bob Griner was treated like a hero for trying to sneak magic grass into Mother Russia. Paige Beckers is worshipped by the media, and she can't win a damn game. Not only can she not win a game, Paige Beckers can't sell tickets. No one is paying to see her play. And it's the same thing with Angel Reese. Why does the mainstream media feel this overwhelming need to protect and shield WNBA players? They're not doing them any favors. People aren't stupid. You can talk all you want about how great her attitude and work ethic are. You can talk all you want about her streak of double-doubles. You can put her in the MVP conversation. You can talk about her dominance. But it doesn't change the fact none of it is real. Tracy McGrady was a dominant player. He led the NBA in scoring 2 consecutive seasons. When talking about greats in the NBA, no one ever mentions Tracy McGrady. Why? He never won, never made it out of the first round of the playoffs. Angel Reese has never made it to the playoffs. Yet the media wants to pretend that she's the most dominant player in pretend basketball. The thing is, the WNBA actually needs Angel Reese right now. Interest is rapidly declining. The mainstream is no longer talking about this toxic dump. Football season has started and the WNBA has been forgotten. The WNBA needs Angel Reese, but Angel Reese is of no use to them right now because she can't win. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.